Joe Biden was in downtown Chicago this week for a fundraiser. There were lots of photographers camped out on Wabash Avenue trying to get a photo. But oddly, none of those photos seem to be anywhere. Meanwhile, on State Street, there was a Palestinian protest going on. My friend Laura snapped a photo of the protest from the nearby Walnut Room. Joe's fundraiser brought in $2 million, dollars, and Laura said the Macy's store on State Street was deserted. The protesters were a huge distraction, a distraction from the real story. Nobody has any money to go shopping. And Joe's story, well, no one's buying it. Welcome. Welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith at Conservative Coffee Hour. We've been looking for messaging to raise the bar so we can have a civil conversation. It's not always easy. Early on, there was a lot of conspiracy thinking, but now that's permeated the entire spectrum, both right and left. Currently, we're in a splitting hairs debate between both sides. There really isn't that much of a difference. It's a distraction from real issues, realities, challenges, and things we can actually do to make a difference in our lives and the lives of others. Years ago, we heard about the gridlock in Congress and the need for campaign finance reform. We don't hear about that anymore. Gridlock has been repackaged and dumped back on us as the polarized. And campaign finance reform, well, it went underground to become dark money. It's there, but nobody can see it. At Conservative Hour, we're looking for positive messaging that enables people to have a lucid conversation with neighbors, friends, and even adversaries, so we can hear and be heard. Everyone faces a lot of headwind in pursuing this goal because the messaging we hear is that we're all terrible people, polarized, and histrionic. The national media feeds this narrative 24/7. So we can turn that off and listen to your local news instead. Many people have done so. When we hear the term public and private sectors, we need to remember that we are the public. We're the public sector and the private sector. The private sector is not something that needs to be managed or controlled. My recent interaction with the Chicago Transit Authority put me in contact with their Director of Community Relations, as if we need to be related to as a necessary obstacle. We're not supposed to be competing with the government for time and resources, but currently the government comprises almost 1/3 of the US economy. Traditionally, we lift up the private sector as innovators, but technological advances come primarily from the US military, including cell phone technology, Facebook, and Amazon. We do live with many inconvenient truths, many of which we will never face in this lifetime. At the Palestinian protest, they had two principal chants emerge. One was about Genocide Joe, and the other was about divestment. Why are universities operating as huge financial conglomerates instead of institutions of learning? That's the real question the students should be asking. It's the same question we should be asking about the government. Why is it operating as a huge administrative state instead of as a constitutional republic? We're all looking for a quick solution to this, but it's going to take time, education, and thoughtful and considerate messaging and conversation. We will prevail over time. This week, I got an email from Don Jr., and I was so struck by that. We're so focused on where we are right now, but this story is not going to be over for a long time. 50 years ago, we had the John Birch Society, and they're still here. We had Ronald Reagan, and his legacy reverberates still. And the Trump legacy will be with us for many, many years ahead. They say it's not over till the fat lady sings, and that rock and roll will never die. We're focusing on the November elections right now, regardless of who is running. We're encouraging people to vote, regardless of who they're voting for. This is a conversation we can have with our friends, with our neighbors, and with our counterparts. If we can't have a conversation about it, then there's something else going on. If you would like to join us at Conservative Coffee Hour is every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.